Funny, isn't it? Funny, isn't it? I expect everyone to be using 352 this weekend. You know, the funniest thing is that everyone always told me, well, the math has always told me that the 352 is just not viable because a pro has not won without the 352. Well, Dammy has won, and now I can officially say that a pro has used a 352. He has won the E-Premier League with the 352 of that variation. So massive congratulations to Dammy. And I think that's how you say it. Apologies if I got it wrong. And the reason I want to make this video is it's always been the best formation in the game. I'll go through some tactics. I'll explain to you some differences. I'll try if I can to get him on with a tactics video. Let's see. I know he's very, very busy. But I've always said, even if you look at my top formation videos, the formation ranking list, I would say, even if you saw that, if I can find it, where is it here? Everyone was shocked that I put the 352 at the 4th position because it genuinely is that good. And as I said to you, with the 352, it's basically, and this is how it's played on a pro scene now. The difference when many of you guys struggle with the 352 is, have a look at the way that he plays it. When he gets the ball back, he doesn't just rush forward. Now, of course, he plays out the back, right? Look on the radar at the bottom as well. You can see he's transferring from a back 5 to a back 3. Now, you see what the difference is between with these pro players is, look, you see when he gets the ball with Sancho in the midfield area, don't forget he doesn't play my 352, and that is because I defend in a 5, and you can defend in a 5-3-1-1. It's still more defensive. He defends in basically 2-1-2-5. That's the way he does it. He defends in a 5-2-1-2. So he has the more attacking variation that offers the counter. And a difference with that you may find is, the good thing is now people will actually try a 352 because from this community, no one listens to me. Every time I say something, they don't listen. And, well, probably not you guys, but the rest of the community. It's only when, of course, someone prominent or someone does something, it changes. They don't really trust, and that's fine. I can understand that. But you see, the difference is a lot of those players, they just spam the passes and they rush forward. Have a look at the way that he perfectly plays it. You see, he doesn't rush forward. He rotates the ball. Can he go through? No, he can't. So he waits. He lets it sit back. Vieira comes out. He passed the ball to Kante. Then he passed the ball to Kante. Now you see how he's gradually bringing the ball forward with his centre mids. Even though Sancho's technically not centre mid, but look how he's bringing Sancho forward there. Does a 1-2 with Sancho. Uses Kante and Hullet. Brings the ball ever so closely now. You might find the 3-4-1-2, the players. I know for those of you that watch the Foot podcast, Air Japes talks about the 3-4-1-2. I talk about the 3-5-2. 3-5-2 is a bit lower back. You can always bring them forward with this technique that he does with there. It's actually a very, very good technique. I do it without thinking about it, but he actually does it literally. And I think it's a good way because sometimes you might not realize you're doing it. I normally go down to the wings, but the way he does it, very, very close-knit and deliberate. It's a very good way. Now watch, when he gets the ball here, he doesn't just spam the ball to the striker. He's very deliberate. Can he make a pass to the striker? Is that striker clear? If that striker is not clear, what he does is he then goes back and he rotates the play. So if you look, for example, over here, you might think, okay, you know what? There's a lot of players over here. I could potentially pass the ball to anyone. That's what you're probably going to think. I'm just going to quickly show you this over here. 1 second. So you see what happens is, when he gets the ball over there, there's no actual, can I force the ball? It's kind of deliberate. He knows where he wants to pass to. He's looking for that guaranteed angle. And that's the difference. Now, if you look on a radar, you can see that his 2 CDMs are here and here, and he's still got a back 3. Now, the way to counter this is a 4-striker formation. If you use a 4-2-3-1, a 4-4-2, all players on stay forward, especially a 4-2-3-1, because that cam and that striker you can 1-2 between the centre backs, it's very, very hard for someone to defend against 4 strikers. So that is the only weak point with this formation. But if you look, he's very, very deliberate, goes forward, and then when there's a chance, you can see that the element of having 2 strikers and a cam up against 2 CDMs, and he has a 2 CDMs on his side to distribute the ball, even if he's got a back 4 like here and a like this, he's still got an overwhelming majority, and he's still got a numerical advantage of a 3 versus 2 in the middle. And that is why it's so effective. And that's why you're going to see it to be one of the best attacking formations, and always has been since FIFA always came out, because it's like a 4-4-2 with an extra striker. It's like a 4-2-3-1. Well, this is the way that maybe I could visually depict this. Imagine a 4-2-3-1. Everyone always says only 1 striker. Well, 3-5-2 is 2 strikers with left mid and right mid. Imagine a 4-4-2. Everyone says to me, oh yeah, 4-4-2. You know what? There's no cam. It's difficult to play. Well, if you have some variation of 4-2-2 or 4-4-2, the 4-2-3, the 3-5-2 is basically the 4-4-2 with the cam, and it's basically the 4-1-2-1-2 with 2 CDMs with an extra player. So it's always a combination of everything, of every attacking formation together. And you can see, and I'll recommend watching this. You can find this as well on the website. I'll leave a link down below in the description for the Premier League, and you can see that he's working. And you can see there's no guaranteed entry. Like don't think there's going to be some guaranteed solution, because maybe in Division 10 when people are running past you, or Division 6 even, but when you're in top tier divisions, it's very, very hard. And you can see how effective it is, because he's always got a look when he's got the ball, he's always got a passing outlet going forward. Even with Hullet, for example, over here, he could have passed the ball to the winger. If he didn't want to pass the ball to the winger, yes, he made a bit of a risky pass there, tried to get into that situation over here at this point. But there's always a situation for him to pass, and there's always an exit strategy. What I would recommend as well, if you do want to see how to use the 3-5-2, I actually have a video. Where is it? If I can get it up, that is. I actually have a video on my Patreon series, patreon.com/NealGuides, where I actually have a full list of 3-5-2 videos, how to use a 3-5-2. I've got a 10-part series actually with 3-5-2 from last year. And you might be thinking, oh, it's last year. It still works. 10-part series, how to play the 3-5-2. And I talk about when to use it and how to use it, because that's the most important thing, is knowing when and where to make the pass. Anyway, the link is down below in the description for that if you want to join. Link is down below in the description anyway. But going back to the game. So you can see, for example, even over here, the left mid and right mids, look how they're very much unmarked. Did you see the left mids and right mids? Look at them. They're basically almost an absolute free space. So you can see when you're building up, he slows. He doesn't panic. You see a lot of players when they get the ball here. There's a nice chip. Very, very unfortunate. That was a green time shot. Could have probably been a different game. And that's why Sam was probably very much visually frustrated. But you see he drops the ball. He plays in between the lines. Then he gets the ball. Look at these 1-2s. You see that left mid? That left mid is always free. Do you see that? Then you could do a ball roll. You can turn the ball backwards. You pass the ball to Hullet, and he tries to go for the first time shot across the goal. That is very, very effective. And unfortunately, Sam makes a big mistake, which I think realistically that cost him the game. I think when it was 2-0, it was really, really hard to come back. And the reason why is when you're defending, when you're sitting in, and I've always said this, right? When you're sitting in a 5-back formation with 2 CDMs, it's impossible for you to not defend well, because there's no formation where you defend in a 5 with 2 CDMs. You have the 5-2-1-2, but they're not CDMs. The cut pass line instruction makes this an even more defensive formation. Now he defends in a 5-2-1-2. You can make this, if you watch my 3-5-2 videos, in a 5. This guy will drop in to create the 3-1-1. That's where I defend in a 5-3-1. So you can even make it even more defensive. And you're going to see this a lot now, because what happens is the way the community shifts is, the community, they copy what the pro players do. And whatever a pro player does, they will think that's the solution. So you would see the shift coming along, a lot of people using a 3-5-2. So I'm just telling you, when that does come up, you now know how to counter it, because I've told you how to counter it. But you can see, look, even when he's defending now, of course, at their level, they run out aggressively with a centre-back. I wouldn't recommend it. So when you watch this back, you might see him running out with a centre-back. My best advice is, if you do lose the ball high up the pitch and you do get countered, just run back. Now, of course, you're up against 4 strikers, you have to run back. But of course, Damien plays very, very aggressive here and very, very offensive. But you have to remember, these guys are pro players, and you can see almost cost him here. You can think, if you think about the situation here, I mean, me personally, would I have ran forward there? No, I mean, I would have slid over there, me personally. Taken a yellow card there, stopped the attack. He tried going for the semi-foul there, but you can see when he did run out, you could see he's in trouble, because the centre-backs, there's 3 centre-backs, one there, one there, one there, and they get split. Now, only thankfully, the opponent was playing a 2-strike formation. If Sam went to a 4 players on stay forward, it would have been, especially a 4-4, especially the 4-4-2, the second variation with the CDMs, because then you have that, okay, you can sit a bit deeper, and you have the 4 players on stay forward as well. But it's a very, very good example of how you can even use it, and that's why I've been using it against the 4-4-2, because you still have gaps, and you can see, look, even when you're attacking, look how beautiful it is, because you see when you get the ball back, for example, like here-ish, you can see when the ball's won back here, he ends up getting the ball back nicely with Kante. Look at that. You still got the 4-1-2-1-2 type, where you got the 2 strikers and the cam. So you can so think about this like a 4-1-2-1-2, with just wide players. And that is why if you look at my tactical setup, I've always used the 3-5-2 always before the 4-1-2-1-2. And now you guys understand why. And you can see, for example, like here, I don't know if he was trying to pass, so left mid or right mid. I would recommend hug the sidelines though on this, because in the left mid or right mid are even wider. I think he's using hug the sidelines just to be correct. But you see, you can then make the line in between. And the best benefit of this above everything is when you use a 3-5-2, if these guys are wide, then if your midfield four is narrow, you end up having two strikers and a cam like this, and you're going to always have passing options to the left mid and to the right mid side. And that is why it's very, very effective. So if you're sitting here, let's say you watch this video and you doubted me with a 3-5-2, I would say genuinely give it a try. You can't say to me, just because this pro player doesn't use it, it's not viable, because now you can see the proof is pretty much in the pudding. And it is with every formation. I mean, you've seen it. You've seen it with the 5-2-1-2, 5-3-2. Once everyone laughed, everyone then used it. 3-5-2, the exact same thing. And it's with every formation. Don't just copy what pro players do, because remember, these pro players, they're like the top 0.001%. You could try to emulate what formations they use, but don't try to say, okay, I'm not going to use this formation just because X player doesn't use it, because that's not the way to go forward. At the end of the day, for example, the 4-5-1 is one of the most viable formations if you like wing play. Probably one of the best formations if you like wing play. But as I said in that video, does everyone like wing play? No, they don't. So your best bet is to try. That's why when I release tactics video, I give you a template. And then I tell you the micro differences to adapt it to your playstyle. Because thankfully, my formations, because I always have the average player in mind. So my formations, they work pretty well for the average player. But the reason why I say don't skip to tactics is I try telling you how to change it. So if you know something is too attacking, you know how to change it. Don't be one of those guys who just skips the tactics and just copies it, because you will never learn then. And if you go find your formation yourself, learn how to fine tune it. That's what I would say. Anyway, guys, that is a 3-5-2. You can see with the two CDMs, you can recycle the ball. I think just for the third goal as well, is another perfect example as well. Have a look at this. You can see two CDMs, wins the ball back, wait for the left mid or right mid to rotate, goes back to the CDM. See, that's the difference. You see, the ball is not forced forward here. The ball goes back, and this is the keyboard recycling. You see, was there a pass on? No, they're not in a good position yet. He's waiting for time. Yes, he could have made the pass to Ronaldo. Went back instead. Waited for Sancho to go into that cam position. Forced a CDM out, especially in a 4-4-2, because you're playing in between the midfield four and the two strikers. You're pushing that player out of position. And do you know what that creates? That creates a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 striker formation. And you can see there's too many players to defend against the 4-4-2. He's just playing, and you see, he's just playing around, because these guys aren't stay forward. He just has to play around. See how many players got to play around? So it's basically impossible for, well, it's not impossible for him to defend, but it's extremely difficult, because, like, for example, like here, what do? What does Hullet do? Yes, the man mark both of these players. He sees Sancho with the L1 trigger. Can he stop that? No. When the ball comes back again, he's got a problem, because if Ronaldo doesn't get marked here, worst case scenario, Salah can be triggered and then they can make a pass in behind. So do you see, it forces the player to make a decision, and it is very, very effective. Anyway, that is the 3-5-2, and you're going to see a more. You know what I'll do? I'll create some different. Congratulations to Dami as well for the 3-5-2, and I want to make a different variations of the 3-5-2. I'll make a defensive one, an attacking one, and I'll upload those on Friday, and of course I'll upload the other one during the week. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and that is the 3-5-2. Don't forget to watch this video, and don't forget my Patreon series if you want to learn how to use it. Thanks for watching.